Abd al Malik ibn Marwan. His name resonates through the corridors of history, a figure of immense importance in the shaping of the early Islamic world. He inherited a fractured empire in 685 CE, a realm teetering on the edge of disintegration. The challenges he faced were monumental. This was a realm stretched from North Africa to India, a vast expanse of land teeming with diverse cultures and competing interests. But it was lacking unity, a cohesive force to bind it together. The empire was plagued by internal strife and external threats. The Umayyad caliphate was on the brink of collapse, its foundations weakened by years of conflict and mismanagement. The very survival of the dynasty hung in the balance. It was ruled by an Arab elite but administered by Greek and Persian officials, a system that bred resentment and inefficiency. The bureaucracy was a patchwork of different traditions and languages. Abd al Malik, raised in Medina, the heartland of Islam, was known for his piety and political acumen, qualities that would prove essential in the years to come. He possessed a keen understanding of both religious and secular matters. He became the architect of a new, centralized Arab Islamic state, a vision that would transform the caliphate forever. He understood that military might alone wouldn't save his dynasty. Force could only take you so far. Legitimacy and a unifying vision were essential to long-term stability and prosperity. He needed to create a sense of shared identity and purpose. The early Muslim community's unity was fading, replaced by tribal rivalries and rebellion, threatening to tear the empire apart. Abd al Malik's challenge was to transform a patchwork of conquered lands into a cohesive empire, a unified entity with a shared sense of purpose. He faced enemies on all fronts, both internal and external. But through ruthless action and visionary reforms, he navigated these treacherous waters with skill and determination. He not only preserved the Umayyad Caliphate but laid the foundations for future Islamic civilization, leaving an indelible mark on history. His reign from 685 to 705 marked a fundamental transformation, a pivotal moment in the history of the Islamic world. Turning a loose collection of territories into a unified, self-confident empire, a force to be reckoned with on the world stage. Abd al Malik's reforms were radical, not mere tweaks. They were sweeping changes that reshaped the very fabric of the caliphate, and their impact would echo for centuries, shaping the course of Islamic history and leaving a lasting legacy. He redefined the caliphate, created new tools of governance, and forged a distinct Arab Islamic identity, solidifying its place in the world. The world he inherited was unstable, a volatile mix of competing powers and conflicting ideologies, but his leadership would shape the Middle East forever, leaving an enduring legacy that continues to resonate today. Abd al Malik was not just a ruler, he was a visionary, a reformer, and a builder. He was the second founder of the Umayyad Caliphate, solidifying its power and influence for generations to come. When Abd al Malik ascended to the position of caliph, inheriting a fractured and unstable realm, his actual authority and control barely extended beyond the core territories of Syria and Egypt. The vast expanse of the caliphate remained largely beyond his grasp. The empire was deeply fractured and torn apart by the Second Fitna, a period of intense internal strife. This was a brutal civil war that threatened the very existence of the caliphate, jeopardizing its unity and stability. The conflict raged across the lands. His most significant rival, Abd Allah ibn al-Zubayr, a figure of considerable influence and power, effectively controlled Mecca, the holiest city in Islam, and a substantial portion of the Arabian Peninsula. Furthermore, Ibn al-Zubayr held sway over the rich and strategically important territories of Iraq and Persia, presenting a formidable and powerful alternative to the legitimacy and authority of Umayyad rule. In addition to this central challenge, other rebellions, most notably those led by groups like the Kharijites, and the uprising of Mukhtar al-Thaqafi in the strategically vital city of Kufa, served to further destabilize the already fragile and fragmented empire. Consequently, Abd al Malik's early years as caliph were largely consumed by the struggle for survival, leaving little opportunity for reform or consolidation. He focused on consolidating his power base primarily within Syria and Egypt, securing his control over these key regions. He even went so far as to sign a temporary truce with the Byzantine Empire, a pragmatic decision to allow him to concentrate his resources and efforts on addressing the pressing internal threats. The major turning point in the conflict arrived with the emergence of al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, a ruthless and capable commander who effectively crushed the widespread and persistent rebellions in Iraq, restoring order to the region. Al-Hajjaj then led the siege of Mecca, a brutal and protracted military operation, ultimately ending Ibn al-Zubayr's challenge to Umayyad authority in the year 692. After enduring 7 long and arduous years of intense conflict and widespread instability, Abd al Malik finally emerged as the undisputed ruler and caliph, solidifying his position at the head of the empire. He now presided over a reunified Islamic empire, bringing an end to the long period of division and strife. However, the prolonged civil war had exposed deep-seated divisions within society, revealing underlying tensions. These divisions demanded the creation of a new, more robust and centralized state, capable of maintaining order. Abd al Malik's hard-won victory, therefore, set the stage for a series of sweeping and transformative reforms. The initial era, characterized by a desperate struggle for survival, was finally over. Now, a new era of profound transformation and lasting change was about to begin. With peace restored, Abd al Malik turned to statecraft, beginning with the Arabization of administration. Previously, government business was conducted in Greek and Persian, leaving Arab rulers dependent on non-Arab officials. This linguistic patchwork hindered unity and reinforced old identities. Abd al Malik decreed Arabic as the sole official language, a bold move that declared cultural independence from Byzantium and Persia. The transition required massive translation efforts and the training of new Arab officials. Ambitious non-Arabs now had to learn Arabic and often convert to Islam to advance, accelerating assimilation. Arabic became the language of power, science and law, unifying the empire's elite. This reform laid the groundwork for the intellectual flourishing of later Islamic civilization. Abd al Malik's Arabization was a crucial step in forging a lasting unified empire. Before Abd al Malik, the empire relied on existing currencies. Predominantly, Byzantine gold coins and Sasanian silver coins were in circulation. These foreign coins, however, carried inherent political and religious implications. They were visual symbols of foreign rule and influence, a constant reminder of the powers that once held sway. Abd al Malik's early coin reforms were transitional, a necessary step towards complete monetary independence. But he soon realized the pressing need for a distinct, unified Islamic currency that would reflect the values and identity of the burgeoning caliphate. The stage was set, and in 697, a pivotal moment arrived. Abd al Malik boldly introduced the gold dinar and silver dirham, marking a significant departure from previous practices. These new coins were revolutionary, featuring only Quranic inscriptions rendered in elegant Kufic script. There were no images of rulers, no Christian symbols, just the powerful word of God. These coins boldly proclaimed the Islamic faith and the caliphate's sovereignty, asserting its place on the world stage. It was a clear and decisive move, replacing the old order with a new, unmistakably Islamic identity that resonated throughout the empire. Every transaction, every exchange, became a subtle but constant reminder of the state's unwavering faith and growing power. The reform also standardized the currency across the vast caliphate. This monetary uniformity stabilized the economy, facilitated trade, and streamlined the process of centralizing taxation. Abd al Malik's coinage was far more than just a financial tool. It was a powerful political and religious statement. It directly challenged Byzantine iconography and boldly asserted the principles of Islamic monotheism. The new currency played a crucial role in unifying the empire, both economically and ideologically, fostering a sense of shared identity. It permeated daily life, becoming a ubiquitous symbol of the caliphate's authority and its divine mandate. The coinage revolution was undoubtedly a masterstroke, a key element in building a confident and prosperous Islamic state. Abd al Malik inherited a decentralized state, where governors acted as semi-independent rulers. This autonomy had enabled rivals like Ibn al-Zubayr to challenge the caliphate. Abd al Malik's solution was radical centralization. He reorganized the tax system, establishing a central treasury in Damascus, and making provincial budgets dependent on the capital. The postal service, or Barid, became an imperial intelligence network, reporting directly to Damascus on local conditions and unrest. These changes gave the caliph unprecedented oversight and control. The Arabization of administration ensured loyalty to the central government, not local interests. Abd al Malik created a professional civil service binding the empire together. This new bureaucracy was the backbone of the state, enabling durable governance. the caliphate became a unified political entity, not just a collection of conquered lands. Abd al Malik's centralization was essential for the empire's survival and future strength. Abd al Malik knew that power needed symbols, not just armies. His most famous project, the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, was completed in 691, a bold statement of Islamic presence on the Temple Mount. The shrine's location and grandeur challenged Christian dominance and asserted Islam's triumph. Its interior inscriptions, drawn from the Quran, directly refuted Christian doctrine and proclaimed Islamic beliefs. The dome was both a political and theological statement, a permanent sermon in stone and gold. Beyond Jerusalem, Abd al Malik built grand mosques in major cities, turning them into centers of worship, administration, and community. These buildings gave the empire a visible, enduring Islamic identity. Architecture became a tool of statecraft, projecting confidence and permanence. Abd al Malik's monuments announced to the world that the caliphate was here to stay. Abd al Malik reformed the military, moving from tribal levies to a professional, salaried army loyal to the state. The Syrian troops became the core, disciplined and dependent on the caliph for their livelihood. This reduced tribal rivalries and strengthened central command. With internal threats subdued, the army resumed campaigns against Byzantium and completed the conquest of North Africa. Military reforms were paired with trusted governors, often family or loyalists, like al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, to secure the provinces. Governors had authority but were answerable to Damascus, ensuring loyalty. The reorganization forged a cohesive imperial army, essential for both defense and expansion. Abd al Malik's military and provincial reforms stabilized the empire and enabled further growth. The caliphate became a true imperial power, not just a tribal confederation. Abd al Malik's reforms reshaped society, blurring lines between Arab rulers and non-Arab subjects. Arabic and Islam became keys to advancement, encouraging conversion and assimilation. Non-Arab converts, or mawali, gained influence as administrators, scholars, and artisans, forming a new, diverse elite. While Arabs still dominated the top, a multicultural class emerged, united by loyalty to the state. This created new opportunities for social mobility, but also tensions with the old Arab aristocracy. Discrimination against converts persisted, sowing seeds for future unrest. Abd al Malik's policies laid the foundation for a cosmopolitan Islamic civilization. The empire became more dynamic, complex, and resilient. Abd al Malik died in 705, leaving an empire transformed, centralized, unified, and confident. He's remembered as the true founder of the Umayyad state, shaping its institutions, ideology, and identity. His legacy endures in the Arabic language, Islamic coinage, and the Dome of the Rock. The bureaucracy and army he built became models for later Islamic empires. His reforms enabled further expansion and stability under his successors. Abd al Malik understood that lasting power required more than conquest. It needed culture, institutions, and shared identity. He was both a ruthless leader and a visionary state builder. Abd al Malik secured the Umayyad present and defined the future of the Islamic world.